Statehouse. It's this neat building from another time, if you will, that's sitting here in the middle of this 20th, 21st century city. It seems natural that a place like this, with its history, with how old it is, that it would have ghosts. So you ask, why would ghosts want to hang out here besides the amazing history of the place? Well, I think it just naturally draws them in. We've been doing the haunted tour since about 1994, and we've been sold out every year. I think folks like to come out, especially at night, to go through the Ohio Statehouse, because ultimately I think they feel like they're getting away with something. Since we are centrally located here in Columbus, in our state capital, we are not forced to only tell strictly Ohio Statehouse history and stories related to. We can talk about all Ohio history. Camp Chase, which was a prison for Confederate prisoners of war. The Lady in Gray is probably their classic story, and she is cited, as my understanding to this day.
A thin, young woman dressed in somber gray garments suited for travel. Her solemn gaze is always downward, and she always appears to be weeping, a handkerchief constantly in her hand. She seems to float rather than walk as we do. She also leaves floral tribute at the grave of one Benjamin Allen of the 50th Tennessee Volunteers. Is the Gray Lady his sweetheart, so distraught as death, so far from his home of loved ones that her unhappy spirit walks the mortal world? Grief can be a powerful emotion, a great motivating force.
It's like she never went away. The way things are, it wasn't long before war broke out anew. I play the part of Simon Gertie, and it's about a dream, a powerful dream. And it's like he's come to the future, and what has caught his attention is this painting. He's been looking at the paintings in the building and the statues and the art, trying to get a grasp of where he's at and what these people must be like when he sees the signing of the Treaty of Greenville. There's a number of things that really pisses him off about that painting. For Gertie, it's like the 1780s, right at the end of the Revolution, deep in the Ohio country. It's kind of the juxtapose to, the other side of the issue, We are made stronger by the strength of our enemies that we have defeated. Probably the most classic story, of course, is the Lincoln and Kate Chase dancing in the Senate chambers. Said it happened to Governor Foraker in the 1880s. And as the story goes, he was working late in the governor's office, thinking he was practically the only one in the building, and when he heard music. Of course, as the story goes, he leaves the governor's suite of offices, and music seems to be coming from above somewhere, and he dashes up into the rotunda. Of course, the music's not there, but indeed it seems to be coming from the Senate chamber. Now, in those days, in the Senate chamber, they had a balcony, a middle balcony that overlooked the floor of the Senate chamber. And for whatever reason, as the story goes, the governor dashed up the stairs to the balcony, and the music is building as he does this. And then as he comes out into the balcony and looks down onto the floor, it's like the music reaches a crescendo. And when he looks down, he sees these two ghosts, these specters, and he remarked that they were wearing the fashions of 20 years or so previous. He was reminded at that moment, it reminded him of being at the Statehouse as a young man in February of 1861, when the President-elect Lincoln was on his way to Washington to be sworn in. They held at one point a ball, a soiree, if you will, in the rotunda of the Statehouse. And that song that he was hearing, that waltz, it finally connected for him. And so he was convinced that what he saw on the floor there dancing was Kate Chase and President-elect Lincoln at that time having a dance. Through the years, there have been other stories from different people about somebody tapping them on the shoulder, and when they turn around, of course, they're gone. We are currently responsible for maintaining those stories and telling them, passing them on. You know, that comfortable distance of the past, we are bringing forward and, you know, showing it to you so you can make your own decision.